back to the SML podcast. We still don't have a title, but that's all right. It's Field Jones 007. We're here with Raider Fan. What's up, buddy?
Hey, not much.
We're back. A little holiday hiatus, a little illness. Everything going good out your way?
Yes, sir. Yeah, the illness, we got through it.
That's good. So I guess we got some topics we need to cover here. We'll talk about some SML. We'll talk about some of the drama around the SML. We'll talk about the NFL, what's going on with these damn playoffs, and how the SML and the NFL have intertwined a little bit, and talk a little bit about what's going on. I guess we can talk about that. First, let's talk about the NFL. Let's get what's going on out there. The world was shocked last night, right? The Titans beat the Patriots. What did you think about that?
I've been wondering how people are going to deal with Derrick Henry in the cold all year.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't shock me too much.
No. Power back, and I guess everyone's going to have their own statement about where the Patriots are, and everyone's entitled to that. And I'm no sports expert by any means, but from what I've seen over the years and what the Patriots have been from last year compared to this year, last year they slowed off, but they still had Gronkowski. So when they needed that third down, when they needed the big play in the Super Bowl, they went to Gronk. And Julian Edelman would seem to eat up teams because they're doubling Gronk. And now they have really, in my opinion, subpar wide receivers. Edelman had 100 catches. There's no Gronk. And the Patriots offensive line has been lackluster. Brady had a lot of pressure. That game, if anyone that says Tom Brady has lost it and needs to retire are the most ignorant and uneducated sports fans that there are, in my opinion. They must not have actually watched the game that close. There were such tight windows. I believe it was an out route or maybe it was a comeback throw to his right. I think it was to Harry. He had several balls he tried to get to Dorsett, who's one of the all-time biggest Colts draft busts. But anyway, Brady was throwing in tight windows all day. Receivers do not get separation, and his receivers do not catch the ball. So Tom Brady's kind of came back down to earth. It was like after 2007 when he got Moss and Welker that his numbers skyrocketed. And now everyone has this expectation of Brady to light up the scoreboard. Well, he's back to being kind of like he was before, a really good game manager, takes care of the football and had pretty good stats, but still nothing astronomical. So people have said that he's fallen off, and really he hasn't. It's just the team around him on offense has, and it's back to when they first won those first three, where it was good defense. The Patriots got a veteran power back, and they had some no-name guys, or not no-name guys, but not great receivers, Deion Branch and Givens. Anyway, I don't think Tom Brady has fallen off. That's just my opinion. Will he be back or not? I don't know. I think I want to get into what the SML being with the NFL. I'm very impressed with NYT. My mad respect to the man. He's had that much faith in his team. He really wanted to be that kind of a fan that he shelled out the doll hairs to go and watch that game. To probably, I don't even think he's around the area. So obviously played for plane tickets and everything else, unless I'm mistaken. To go.
He lives in New York.
Okay, so he's had to have some type of expense to go see this game. And my dude, I don't want to out him or anything, but I'm pretty sure the way he did this with his career was he was selling hand jobs in the bathroom of the carnival. I mean, where is he getting this extra money at? NYT is a gangster of carnies. And now he's getting ready to do it again. How is NYT going to get it done to save up the money? I don't know if he's going to have to get some big corporate guys in the bathroom this week or what, but shout out to NYT for going to this Patriots-Baltimore game. Do you think the Patriots actually have a chance in Baltimore?
You mean the Titans? I do.
Oh, shit. Yeah, my bad, buddy. Yeah, the Titans.
Anywhere where they don't have a dome, I think the Titans have the advantage.
What do you think, though, over the Ravens? I don't know. I just feel like Lamar Jackson, unless the Ravens stop themselves, i.e. making Jackson take 7-step drops and actually read a defense, I don't see that happening, in my opinion. But I guess we'll see.
I think the Ravens will struggle. The Derrick Henry aspect is known, it's common, and then Tannehill he's a good game manager and he makes the right throws when he needs to make them.
He did.
But
go ahead.
What's understated is Vrabel is a great defensive mind.
Yeah.
I mean, he's played with some of the best coaches.
Absolutely.
On some of the best teams. He knows the do your job culture, and
Right.
I think they will be ready for the second-year quarterback who, though is good, is containable if you take away his strength, which is the deep ball over the top and the breakdown runs, the breakdown of the play. When the play breaks down and he goes to the house, as long as they secure those, they're good.
I don't think that they'll be able to contain Lamar Jackson. I don't think, basically, like to do it, you'd have to play a nickel defense and commit one of those defensive backs to spy him. You can't spy or contain him with your D-line or linebackers.
Well, they have no. The Titans have extraordinarily fast linebackers. They're not great against power runners, but they're very good at catching speedy guys that thought they were open.
Yeah,
So look at what the Bills defense did against Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the Bills did against Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Watson's not as fast as Jackson, though. Watson would get open, and then they would close the gap on him before he could get taken to Applebee's.
See the guys were there and have to hesitate, and the defenders who'd already been beat would come back from behind and get him.
Right.
You could be right. Lamar Jackson might be uncontainable.
I think he's
have the perfect matchup.
I think he's gonna be uncontainable against the Titans, and that'll be the key because I've just seen too many games this year. Right now, unless he gets injured or they try to make him throw too much, if they just let him go out and be an athlete, run the ball, throw screens, run some read option, play that college ball atmosphere. Because Harbaugh saw what kind of shit show it was last year, and he says, "Oh my God, fuck this! This kid is not a traditional quarterback. We got to do what the Broncos did with Tim Tebow when they made the playoffs. We got to play good defense, and we got to cater our offense around this athlete. Now, he's not a quarterback; he's an athlete. Once again, it's my opinion. But
if the Titans come out there and get the ball first and eat up 9 minutes running the ball down the field,
yeah,
and the Ravens get out there and go 3 and out, it's over.
Yeah, I mean, that's all you got to do after Tennessee is to go in there, play physical football, like you said, control the clock, and hurry up and go take a lead real quick, and hopefully, like you said, maybe get a quick 3 and out. That's obviously the blueprint everyone always has to stifle a good offense. Anyway, let's talk about a couple of other games that happened. The Texans and the Bills. I don't have much to say about it outside of Josh Allen's not as bad a quarterback as I thought he was. He played a really good game until the end. He made a few bonehead decisions, but really, it's always easy to Monday quarterback that shit when you're not the one running like away from 300-pound men and having to make those throws and decisions under duress. Because he was under duress a lot. The Texans got after him. But that was one of my favorite plays that I've seen all season was Watson bouncing off 2 Beamohoff linemen, getting around and making the play down the field. What was your takeaways from that game?
I really felt Deshaun Watson has a lot of Eli Manning in him. I mean, of course, he's not as good as Eli Manning. But he was close. I mean, he looked like Eli Manning in that play.
Yeah. No one's as good as Eli Manning.
Right. It's just impossible to imagine that happening.
Eli Manning is the greatest quarterback of all. Eli Manning, don't even get me started on Eli Manning. I love Eli. I believe in Eli. But there was a couple other games that happened earlier. I caught kind of the tail end of it. The Saints and the Vikings game. What is the deal? Why can the Saints not seem to get over the hurdle of the Vikings? And it seems like I saw that Lattimore went down, and then Thielen made a couple big plays over it, and then they isolated Rudolph up top, and for some reason it looked like they just played man-to-man and left their corner or safety, whoever it was, man-to-man against the tight end who had a gross height advantage over him, threw a high-point ball, bang, touchdown, overtime. It was over with. It was a great game. It was a fun game to watch. I don't think, in my opinion, that the Vikings are good enough to beat the Seahawks, the 49ers, any of those teams, or even the Ravens or anyone else in the playoffs. But it was a good game. Why do you think it is that the Vikings match up so well against the high-octane Saints offense?
Well, I think it kind of goes to what you were saying about Tom Brady, when people say he's done because he's old, but you said, and it's the opposite. Breeze has all the weapons in the world.
Yeah.
And he looked like Frank Drebin out there.
You think I don't want to cut you off, but do you think it's still that injury he had, or not so much?
I don't know. I feel like
But then again, I haven't watched.
I feel like
Go ahead.
he overthinks things.
He hasn't from the game. I haven't watched a whole lot of Breeze since he came back from the injury. I've just pretty much seen stats and highlights and a few bits of games here and there. But other than this game, I mean, Breeze has had a lot of good stats, including the game when he came back. And I think maybe it's just one of those deals. You go back to 2003, 2004, Colts, Peyton Manning MVP, Peyton Manning lighting everybody up, Peyton Manning in his prime, Peyton Manning goes to Foxborough. What the fuck, Peyton? What are you doing? You know, other than disappointing Colts fans, making dad go out and drink and beat the fuck out of his kids because the Colts lost. You know, just unbelievable. Maybe it's just one of those deals where they just don't match up very well against the Vikings. The Vikings playing a physical defensive front. They've got decent secondary, good defensive players. They can run the football on offense, and apparently Kirk Cousins decided to play quarterback today. So, I don't know. It was definitely a good game. What did you think about it?
It was a good game. I felt Breeze overthought things a little bit.
So you think that? Well, we'll get to that. I got another point about overthinking things. I got one last game, and it's going on right now. I'm kind of missing it for the sake of the SML. I can't multitask. 17-9 right here in the fourth quarter. Seahawks with the ball. I saw Marshawn Lynch got a touchdown earlier. That was pretty cool. I don't know why. I'm a really big beast mode. I think everyone just kind of loves beast mode now that he's done. Kind of buying into his whole persona, seeing him on Man vs. Wild, whatever it was, and all these interviews that he's done. Who do you pick it in this game?
Seahawks got it easy.
Seahawks got it. Is Wentz still out, or did he come back? I seen that he got knocked out.
I don't know. I'm on here with you.
Oh, okay.
He was out when I came on here with you.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that was kind of a big deal. I mean, McCown did decent on the drive I watched him in, though. So.
Well, basically the Eagles losing their quarterback in a big game basically means, God wants the other team to win. And the other team can't take any credit for it at all.
They can't. It's divine intervention, really. If you watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, what is it, Mac? Mac's the religious one in there, and he's always about God. And I think that maybe that show is praying for God to intervene. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You'd think the Eagles would win. You just would think the Eagles would win. But really, no, I thought the Seahawks were going to win this game. I wanted Marshawn Lynch to have a bigger game. He's just not really being a huge factor. When he gets in there, everyone is excited to see Marshawn Lynch touch the ball. And I think he took that ball from, the 5-yard line, fucking hit a couple guys, says, no, fuck you, did like a little half turn and got it in the end zone. So I'm hoping Marshawn has one huge playoff game and just goes off and has over 100 yards and a touchdown or something. Seems like right now they brought him in basically to be a goal line back, short yardage back. And that's about it. He hasn't had a whole lot of touches. I don't know if it's because he's not in football shape, which, from what I've seen, when he comes out of the game, he's huffing and puffing pretty hard for playing a play. So I that may be it. I'm not really sure. Maybe that they just intended him to be a goal line or short yardage back all along. I guess we're going to go ahead and talk about the SML real quick. We're in week 8 right now. Not a whole lot of games have been played. We are in week 8, right? These are all new scores.
Yeah.
You had Gov over the Jaguars, 42-31. Patriots losing to the Jets, 34-24. The motherfucking Raiders, 23-17. Wow. What happened?
Yeah, I hit the wrong button.
What do you mean you hit the wrong button?
Well, I was trying to throw to one guy, and I hit the wrong button. It threw a touchdown or something.
Man, Madden no matter what they do, they try to reverse the mapping on your controller, and then you manage to reverse it in your head. I don't know. The Raiders got to win, though. You played pretty good, it looks like. You took care of the ball, passing 11-15, 213, 2 TDs. Break down your game a little bit.
Okay. Basically, the game came down to I made some pretty smart plays. I'm trying to learn how to run the ball because I don't know that I know there's 3 plays that if you use those, you can run the ball great, and Blunt Burner uses them. But I don't know those 3 plays, so I used the other 150 plays that are in the game.
Yeah,
and they don't work. So I can't run the ball as good as other teams.
Right.
I don't know the 3 plays, but I was trying to mix it up
YouTube.
And what I found the Broncos' biggest weakness was I'd come out in a gun formation, a passing formation, with every intention of doing it like an inside zone or a base run. It was a run, and I would notice that he wasn't lined up for a 3 wide set. He just wasn't. He was lined up with it looked exactly like somebody who's ready for a 2 wide set and focusing on the run.
He's playing 4-3 or 3-4. I'm just playing
whatever he was doing. I would audible to a pass.
Yeah.
I mean, I got 3 receivers out there. He's got a defense set up to cover 2 of them.
Right.
And I would audible to a pass, take the snap, read the coverage, find the open guy, and I got so many weapons, and I'd move the ball down the field on him.
Right.
And I never really paid much attention to what people were coming out on me. So now I'm gonna start watching that. I came out in a pass heavy look with a run intent, and he knew my run intent. He came out for the run intent. He didn't care about my personnel. He cared about my intent. That's great. Well, intentions change.
Who's your game of the week for week 8?
I don't know.
You don't
but let me finish telling you what happened with the game.
Break it down.
So that helped me move the ball more than I normally can.
Yeah.
And so I'm having a better season than usual with moving the ball, period.
Mm-hmm.
But he had a big-ass run. I mean, a huge run. Lindsey was doing all kinds of things, walking on water, feeding the masses, just great things. And one of my guys ran over and touched him, and he fumbled the ball, and we got it. That killed a dominating drive by him. I was able to score again to go up 2 scores, and he got the ball later and was running down, and he was gonna tie it up or whatever it was, and he fumbled again in a situation where a running back would never ever fumble the ball if they still wanted to be on an NFL team.
So you benefited from the algorithm.
Yeah, basically, it was like, wow, he's turned into the Raiders.
Yeah.
And the other thing that killed him was there was a big pass interference play that put me on the 1 or 2 or whatever, put me right on in the goal line, goal to go situation. And now he feels this was an officiating error, but I don't know. I didn't watch the replay yet. But I was kicking a field goal that would have put me up 6, and he would have had 2 minutes to tie it up or go up 1. Not tie, but go up 1. And he roughed the kicker. And he claimed, he says 2 big penalties, and that had to be the other one. Unless that's not the one he's talking about. I don't know. But that to me is user, because I stay away from anybody going in after the kicker because I know how I'll be. I'll kill the kicker.
Right. I will say sometimes the CPU does get some kicker calls on you. I mean, especially if you set your controller down, like if you stay on that guy when you're 9 times out of 10, like if you're not touching your controller, I've had some penalties like that too. But it was a good game. I'm glad you got one. I didn't want to see you go 0-16. So I'm proud of you. It looks like you took care of the ball, and like you said, you were able to identify something in the defense and you exploited it. So hopefully things start trending upwards for you.
Yeah, I probably won't lose another game the rest of Madden.
I don't think you will. I can see you turning this season around, finishing 10-6, going on a Super Bowl run, and cementing yourself as an SML legend. A couple other kind of other things to talk about.
Wait, whoa,
Yeah.
Field, whoa.
Yeah.
I'm not an SML legend?
Not yet.
Oh, damn.
You're part of the SML undercard.
Game changer.
You're the mascot of the league, though.
Thought that was Conk.
No, that ain't Conk. Conk is like that girl that just won't leave you alone. You know, Conk's just still blowing up your phone. Conk's doing anything for attention. He's fucking sending you titty pics. He's sucking people's dicks out in the stands during a football game. Like, I like Conk though. I like the fact that no matter how much shit that he gets, like, he's still there. Like, he hasn't quit. So I do respect that aspect of him.
Yeah, I think Conk is the lifeblood of the group me chat.
He really is. Without Conk, Conk has allowed the league to come together against one common enemy.
Not only that, but he'll talk about something interesting in chat. And you're
he does.
I gotta give my opinion on this,
He
and
does.
there's a few key guys that see it and all want to talk, and then
Uh-huh.
other guys see that and go, I want to talk, and
Right.
conk, like it's like a dead body, and he comes over and does some CPR, mainly because he wanted to kiss the corpse probably,
Well,
and it's alive.
let's not call him the mascot. Let's call him the SML lightning rod.
The resuscitator.
Yeah, I mean, he does bring life in the chat, no matter what. Like, people, even yesterday, they're like, oh, Conk, where's Conk at? Wake up, Conk. Come on, Conk. Like, people are waiting for him, like, to say something for them to pick apart.
Yeah.
He's definitely brought some life into the chat, though. I mean, it is fun having Conk. I hope he stays.
Was
Yeah.
it shocking to you to see the resemblance between him and NYT? I mean, him and Prime.
Jesus.
When I put the 49er hat
I
on
think
both of them.
that Conk may be Prime's daddy.
Ooh, I thought they were just twin brothers
No,
separated at birth.
Conk, I don't know what kind of drugs Conk's been in. Maybe like the drugs make him look older, but he looks a little bit older than Prime. Although Prime is kind of like getting depressed and shit based on everything that's going on in his personal life. It's really starting to age him down. So
Oh, what's going on in Prime's personal life?
Prime has a hemorrhoid, and he's really been battling this thing. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. Nothing.
He looks like a hemorrhoid.
He does look like a hemorrhoid. But I guess we could talk. I got to give some love, though, because I got some other guys I want to talk about real quick before I talk about some serious shit. We got to talk about the SML Thick Boys. I got to give Mike FML some love, because Mike FML is always saying how much he enjoys my podcast, how I am the better brother, stuff like that. So I got to talk about Mike FML. Let's talk about the Panthers. 3-3, West Coast spread. He's got, right now, his offense 13th with 25 points a game. He's really middle of the road on offense. He's really middle of the road on defense, and he's 3-3 for the record. But you know what? I've got faith in Mike FML. You know why?
Why?
Because he's a good player. The fact that Mike does not give up. Mike will be there, and he's got a talented roster. If you look at it, he's got Luke 96 overall, McCaffrey 92, Burns 89. He's got a talented roster. You have to go all the way down past Brandon Graham, 80 overall defensive end before you get to some shitty players. So, and whenever I play Mike, I kind of struggle against him. He plays good defense. He just kind of, like you said, more or less like Drew Brees. I think sometimes in some of these bigger games, he overthinks it and shoots himself in the foot like a lot of us. I'm guilty of that.
Locke has 14 touchdowns to 17 picks.
What's that?
Locke has 14 touchdowns to 17 picks.
Yeah, overthinking things. Locke's a hell of a quarterback.
And he doesn't mix up. He needs another running back because he has 73 carries for 473 yards and 2 touchdowns for McCaffrey. And the next best runner has 5 yards.
Well, are you going to run with anyone else when you got McCaffrey?
Yes, I always would.
You can't.
Thunder and Lightning is the best combo to do. Titans have Dion Lewis and Henry.
Because that works so well against the Patriots. Everyone just laughs when Dion Lewis goes in there. They're like, oh, fuck
but
it.
The Titans aren't running it. Your running back a break.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's when they were really good, though. Back when they had Chris Johnson and Lindell White, and they both had 1,000-yard seasons. I think they called them Thunder and Lightning. Maybe I'm wrong.
That's the typical way to go, Thunder and Lightning.
Yeah.
It goes like this. It goes 73 carries, 3 carries, and 0 is the rest of the way down. So he's never running the ball with anybody but McCaffrey, basically.
So I'm going to break down the rest of his schedule real quick. This week he's got meets. What do you think? Do you think he's going to get meets or no? Who are you giving that one to?
His other receiver is DJ Moore.
Yeah.
DJ Moore had 19 catches for 781 yards.
Wow.
The next receiver is a tight end with 9 less catches, and he only has 165 yards. And then he has a receiver with 5 catches for 147 yards.
How many catches does his leader have?
19.
For 700 some odd yards?
781. He averages 41 yards a catch.
Fucking cheese, man. Mike's the cheese fan. I love me thick boy Mike, but cheese.
So when Meats looks at these stats,
yeah,
and when I'm actually trying to win games, I look at these two because it gives you an idea who they're going to. Yeah, and DJ Moore and McCaffrey are basically his entire team.
Yeah, that's why he's 3-3. But I think Meats will probably beat him. That Lawyer Killer game next week against the Packers would be good. He's got the Bucks, which Noel's having a very poor season. The Steelers, Cardinals. Who else has he got? The ZZ the Great, in quotes. 0-6. He's got the Rams, terrible two-step, who's not been that good this year. He's got Stezo, who's having a mixed review kind of season. NYT, who's at 1-5 right now, and then ZZ to close out the season. So Mike could very well make the playoffs this season. Do you think that Mike's going to have a playoff berth or no?
Not this rate. He's got to start spreading the ball around to different receivers. He's got to use different elements in his running game, and I mean that's his only hope.
I like that you kind of have your own little version of SML, the breakdown, which I will use as my segue because that is something I want to talk about. First of all, if anyone hasn't watched it, it's on the SML YouTube channel. It's your commissioner, Primetime 000. He does kind of a breakdown of the SML's worst players and tries to improve them. I was spotlighted as one of the SML's worst players and featured on SML The Breakdown.
I watched it.
It actually was pretty informative. You know, I think he does a good job at it. The one criticism I had of the episode, and maybe not a criticism as it is, I'm going to half-ass defend myself and half-ass concede to this point he made. There was a play, I played cover 4. It wound up being an under concept. I think it was third down too, like third and long. I was using the linebacker for the cover 4. There was no other yellow zones. I had my other guys drop back in purple. Everyone else dropping back in deep quarters. Anyway, I saw the first crosser coming. I was watching the other guy. He was still going straight back. So to me, I was passing him off. It was going to be a streak route. I handed him off to the D-backs. Not really the best choice, I guess, looking back at it, which is always easy to look back at it when you see the motherfucker made the completion. As soon as I went down for the drag route, the guy fucking breaks in on an in route or dig route, whatever you want to call it. So gets a big completion, gets the first down. So that's my only thing is it's always easy to kind of Monday quarterback the thing. Like, really, I didn't misread the defense. The guy just hadn't broke it. It's not like they both broke at the same time and I went low, because I misread the defense. I just couldn't play crystal ball there and pick, that guy's going to break in, But I guess looking back at it, if it's third and long, I probably should have just conceded the drag route at that point. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, though, because also in Madden, you give them the completion a lot of times if they're making guys miss and get the first down. Like last night in real life, for instance, Duke motherfucking Johnson on a huge third down. They go ahead and get the completion, and Duke gets the first down just, for the rack. So, I don't know. I guess I just wanted to kind of defend my thought lot process there. Was I passed him off because I really did not anticipate him breaking in. Other than that, I thought it was really good. I implemented that. I think into the next game I played, he did it. I didn't watch it before the Jags game. I got blown out, maddened pretty hard in that game, and then I played because that's all. If I lose the game, it's not my fault. I got maddened, which I've already put my point out. That does happen. I do agree with you in certain aspects of that. But I watched it. I played Stezo, or Woods, whatever they call him, the Browns player. He played, normally, he smokes my ass. Like, you play that Browns team, it is stacked. He's got Myles Garrett. Their pass rushing really good. He's got a really good secondary. Just a strong team. And I really struggle to move the ball on him. And Prime says, you're not Peyton Manning. Take what you see. I like field after the ball. I don't like field before the snap. You just got to run the plays as it is. Don't move it. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm not going to hardly make any kind of adjustments in this game. Ran a lot of the RPOs, a lot of the, just the preset stuff. But this time I was actually able to run the ball and stuff. I don't know if he's got a lot of players injured right now because I didn't see all the X factors and stars on his defense that I normally do. So I don't know if that was a lot of it or not. But obviously putting Prime's game plan in place did result in a win. So I went ahead and told him that. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys that if you happen to be featured on the SML worst and wind up on the show, I mean, it may not be all that bad. You may be able to implement something of that. So anyway, what's your next topic you got here, Raider? You got anything that you want to cover?
I'd like to talk a little bit about the Jaguars rookie quarterback Seth Stalker.
Shoo. Go ahead.
He's got 2,436 yards receiving, 21 touchdowns to 14 interceptions.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty impressive for a rookie.
Oh yeah, and for Madden, he's got a lot of good attributes. Like to be able to move the ball. Like you said, he's throwing a lot of picks because he is willing to force the ball down the field. So that's the thing about playing this guy. Although on the other side, when he plays defense, he kills it with his user coverage with Miles Jack. Anyway, we're talking about Seth Stocker. I've been on the butt end of a lot of those touchdowns, unfortunately. So I think he had 6 of them even in my game. So yeah,
I played him today. I think he threw a touchdown against me today.
He's a good player, and he's a guy that just seems like he's trending up every season. Like Prime said, if he was in a division away from Prime, he would probably win the division.
That's a backhanded compliment.
It is. I mean, let's be honest. With me being in the division with him, and he being in the same division with Prime. There's just no way that you're gonna win the division. I'm gonna split I'm gonna split games with my division mates.
3 picks versus me.
How many?
2 touchdowns and 3 picks versus me today.
Wow. Did you win that game?
No, I did not.
You didn't win that one.
That's funny.
Huh.
I will say I didn't play my best game against him because I was focused on getting Josh Jacobs 150 yards from scrimmage or 3 touchdowns.
Oh yeah,
none of which came to pass. I can't help it.
Oh yeah. So when you take care of the football, you win the game. So that's honestly like the key for this Madden because you're not getting the massive amounts of turnovers. That game you were 12 of 26, $187, 1 touchdown, 4 picks, and then like you said, you haven't found the YouTube running plays yet, so you had 10 carries for 26 yards.
That was 4.
Your defense is trending up though.
Huh?
Your defense must be trending upwards though, because you held him to 17 points.
Yeah, I'm trying a different defensive style the last 2 games.
Have you?
But so Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
You know what the single season sack record is, right?
In real life or in SNL?
Yeah. In real life.
Yeah.
And here we are in week 8. Aaron Donald has 20 sacks.
Jesus Christ. See, man, okay, so I guess we play like ping pong with these podcasts. Me and you have our side of what we think about the game and the abilities and stuff. And then you go back to ZZ and Prime, who are very much cookie cutter with their show, like, hey, the game's better, you guys. You guys wanted changes, they made changes. Prime used basically like the verbiage right out of the game where they wanted star players to feel like star players, which I think even without the abilities they would because they made such a large gap in ratings. I think that's the biggest thing is having a ratings gap. And if you really want to make a difference, make user coverage rules. You're not allowed to break your zone. Because you could take a 63 overall linebacker, and I've seen Prime do it, and have 40 interceptions with them. That's just that's my opinion on it. A lot of people probably don't agree with that, especially the better players, because it's a very large advantage for guys that have a great user. And I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm just saying if you want to talk about making ratings matter, making great players feel like great players, don't user cover my post route 40 yards down the field where your zone was supposed to stop at the 50, not my 10.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, all right.
Go ahead.
I don't like it. I don't like it when a receiver gets or when a quarterback scrambling around and throws a crazy ass pass and completes it.
Yeah.
The reason I don't flip out over it is because I know I can't do it.
Nope.
And that means it takes some skill to do that.
It does.
But at the same time, because when I try to do that with a quarterback, if I don't set my body up right, it'll throw it nowhere near where it's supposed to be.
You also have a
They
shitty
need
quarterback.
to do something like that with the defense, where if a linebacker's out of position and he tries to do some crazy, ridiculous thing, he falls the fuck down and pisses himself.
Well, I think we can there's a lot of changes you could make. I think a lot of it would just be maybe bringing tackling up and bringing the interception slider down. You can do a lot of that just by adjusting your sliders and have a completely unique
and making the receiver go after the ball.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to change their logic. You're just not. They're not. I don't think you're ever going to. That's just going to. All you can do is make them catch everything in their area. And I don't think we need that. Like you said, that's part of a poor their game physics at this point.
That's what the defenders do.
Yeah, They're amping
Oh,
up.
I saw them
My only
all.
other thing I was going to say, if you're going to keep these abilities in place, if you want these defenders to get off the ball because you can't fix pass rush and pass blocking any better, so you said, fuck it, we're just going to make the defenders come every play, which sometimes they do in real life against shitty teams with shitty offensive lines, but there's times in games where X Factors just absolutely rule every single, or ability players, whatever you want to call it, every single game. I think one thing they did away with a few years ago, they nerfed it, that would totally neutralize it, and something else you could do as well. For one, is to bring screens back, make screens a viable option. Halfback screens haven't really been worth dick in probably 2 or 3 years. Also, I would say make fatigue have a bigger impact on games. About the only time fatigue matters is for the running back. When the running back's tired, they seem to fumble at a higher ratio. But defenders, yeah, they may be a little bit slower, but they're still getting back there, still getting sacks. They're still breaking on balls and whatnot. So, I don't know. I think if you would add screens back or make screens more of a viable option, because really they're almost a waste of time for the most part, in my opinion. Back in the day, screens was like the biggest, huge part of people's game plan. And it was an easy way of neutralizing the blitz. A lot of these guys are blitzing the shit out of you. And they're going with 3-4 odd, pinch bucko. They're running that, strictly just that, or there's a couple other nickel blitzes I've seen. Guys run the nickel 3-3-5, blitz the shit out of you all game. And there's not much you can do when you have a bad offensive line to neutralize that, with screens being as poor as they are. So I think that's something, if you want to keep abilities, make that better. Go ahead.
We need to kind of wrap it up, but
yeah.
I like what you're saying. I agree with you. I want to touch on one thing you touched on when you said thing about stamina. Mm-hmm. The stamina is my reason for believing the game is rigged against certain teams.
Yeah.
I honestly believe, like, Antonio Brown had like 96 stamina.
Right.
And most receivers have some shitty ass stamina.
Yeah.
Most skilled players that have that. I'm gonna go into it real quick and just find it real quick.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend too much time on this because we've made a long podcast, but I think this is interesting, and it kind of says what I think is happening under the table about the game itself.
Yeah.
Because just because they put these ratings up here for us to visibly see,
right,
doesn't mean everything is visibly exposed for us.
Right.
And so. Your quarterback usually has an average of damn it went right back to quarterbacks usually have pretty good stamina.
Yeah.
They 93 stamina. Running backs on the other hand have like 88, 86 stamina.
Right.
Offensive linemen usually have high 90 stamina.
Right.
Oh, okay, never mind. Rodney Hudson has 85 stamina. 92 stamina for my guard. 91, 82. But you would think a 300-pound man's stamina would be lower than a 200-pound wide receiver stamina.
How often do you see them linemen sub out, though, even in real life? Your starting line's usually out there.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because a guy who runs 40 yards
right,
and then has to come back to the line of scrimmage is going to be more winded than a guy who ran 4 yards blocking.
Right.
So instead of them making stamina based on size versus physical exertion versus what's the word for somebody in shape?
Endurance. I don't know.
No, physical fitness level or whatever. There's another word. But anyway, instead of them working out an algorithm that matched that, so
right,
say a receiver runs a 60-yard streak and it's incomplete.
Yeah,
he's gonna be fucking tired as hell when he comes back. The offensive lineman's not gonna be tired. So their way of working around that was they made the offensive lineman's stamina 95.
Right.
And the receiver's stamina 85, so that he'd be tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a cheat.
Yeah.
So I really feel that's an unseen thing in the game that certain teams have to suck unless certain changes are made. Like, I'm sure if I use skill in one 16 games, my team would be elevated. I believe that.
Well, yeah, they're
That's
going
all
to
I got to
improve.
say on that.
Confidence
So
motor.
Saints have 0 wins. I want to cover the bottom 10 teams real quick before we go. The Saints have 0 wins. I think ZZ's a good owner. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he does the best to manage his team. I played him once this cycle. I thought he played really well. He wound up closing the gap in me. I don't think he's a bad owner.
So on our next podcast, I think, and I'll spend some time before next Sunday.
Yeah.
I think we should analyze what ZZ's struggles are and see what we can do to help him identify them.
Okay.
Titans a 0 win.
Yeah.
And the Giants have 0 win. Raiders have 1 win. How'd that fucking? Falcons have 1 win.
Yeah.
Dolphins have a win. The Vikings have 2 wins. What's that about? Buccaneers 2-4.
Right.
Browns 3-4. Steelers. We don't really know this new Steeler guy that well. We need to touch on him next time. And the Bills are 3-4.
Yeah.
So that's the bottom 10. You just barely miss it with 3-4.
God. See ya, bastards.
But then the biggest shocker.
Yeah.
What do you think about the Lions? 5-2.
He's not a shocker. I talked about I brought him up before. I think PJ is the most underrated player in the league because he's the Lions. You know, all those teams that you named had a common denominator of those teams pretty much all suck. The Lions also suck. But I think his user skill, his play calling and everything is the reason why he's successful.
He's one Madden God pick away from being 6-1.
Right.
I was watching this game. His receiver had complete position on the ball.
Yeah.
And Carr sailed it to the defender who clearly did not have a chance at breaking up the play. And it went into his hands instead. And it just completely turned the game around and Lions lost.
Like I said, he's a great player, and a lot of that, like I'm not disagreeing at all. I do think there's a lot of it that there's, and even EA's even admit. I'll have to find the article for next time, where they talk about how that momentum or whatever you want to call it is programmed in the game. I forgot the technical term for it, but like you said, we need to wrap this up. We'll do some research. We'll be back. Let us know in the comments below or in group me and DM us what you think about the podcast. If you got something you want us to talk about, check us out, simmadleague.com, daddyleagues.com/SML.
What y'all need to understand, guys, is we're doing this for y'all.
Yep.
ZZ and Prime, they do it for y'all and themselves. We don't care. We do it for y'all and y'all alone. And here's what we want to do. We want to shape this up into a PTI type of podcast, part interruption, where we debate back and forth, or that one with Shannon Sharp and that other guy.
What? First take?
Bailiff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you give us some things to argue about, and we'll argue.
Let's do something. We got to come up with a title still, too. Let us know about that, guys. Anyway, we appreciate you watching. Let us know. Make sure you're tweeting out your tweets. Make sure you're playing your games. We've been doing really good this year. We've been advancing at the highest rate probably in league history. You guys are doing a great job. NYT, good luck. I hope that everything works out for you. I'm sorry that these jokes are made at your expense, but you got to flavor out the podcast a little bit. Thick Boy Mike, I love you. You guys have a good night.